Hello, and welcome to the Quiet and Strong podcast, especially for introverts. I'm your host, David Hall, and the creator of quietandstrong.com. This is a weekly podcast dedicated to understanding the strengths and needs of introverts. Introversion is not something to fix, but to be embraced. Normally, we'll air each episode on a Monday, so be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform. As introverts, we have a gift for thinking. We can come up with great ideas, sometimes instantly, and often with a little time. Sometimes we may need to give ourselves permission to take some time to think, or let others know that we need this time, whether it be a few seconds, minutes, hours, a day, or longer. There have been so many times where I did take some time to think and came up with a great solution that was far better than if I had made an instant decision. I think the ideal is to regularly schedule quiet time to think. For me, this is first thing as I start my day, and then as needed. When's the best time for you? I know that this is easier said than done. Again, as an introvert, thinking is your gift, and you need some optimal time to use that gift. Let others know what you need. Often it's needed to come up with decisions immediately, and as an introvert, you can be good at this. However, our brains can also do better with a slower approach. Sometimes it may look like we're being indecisive or procrastinating, but we may just be using our gift to look at the issue in multiple ways and compare past experience and other factors, perhaps like available resources. Have you ever felt like your mind was on fire? Thoughts coming at you so fast and connections forming that you can hardly keep track of them? I woke up early one morning with a work problem on my mind, a very complex problem, a problem I had been considering for a long time. I really couldn't go back to sleep, so I decided to head into work early. As I drove into work, I felt like my mind was on fire. So many thoughts were coming into my head, and the pieces of the problem were just falling into place. For so long I'd been trying to solve this problem, I thought I was in need of resources that were out of my control and not available. I had been asking for these resources for a while, and just when I thought I was making progress, there were some changes that put me right back to the proposal stage. But on this day, as new ideas were coming into my head, I realized a great solution that would not require any additional resources. I got into work and immediately started writing these ideas down and mapping them out. It was amazing how it all came together for me all at once, as I developed a solution to this problem that had been in the back of my mind for some time. Sometimes I make quick decisions and come up with quick solutions, but more often my best ideas come with time. Often the answers come by keeping the thoughts in the back of my head and letting them roll around in my head for a while. And I also do best when I have all the information I can possibly gather. A great strength of mine is gathering information and putting it all together into innovative solutions. Sometimes when I'm trying to solve a problem, I need to remind myself to be patient, that good things and good ideas will come. Well, I don't always have the luxury of taking time to solve a problem, nor I can't always count on having a brilliant solution come to me on demand. Experiencing the rush my mind whirls to connect all the pieces is really quite remarkable. I know having to wait for an answer can drive some people crazy when they're hoping for a quick solution, so I may need to ask for a little time to think. But over the years, I've proven my strength in thinking to myself and others over and over again. As introverts, perhaps sometimes we have our thinking caps turned on too high, a little more than the rest of the world. And sometimes, especially as we have a problem or project we need to think through, we need to turn off our thinking for a bit, stop coercing our minds to come up with an answer for a moment. Instead of actively thinking, we need to go into passive mode to give our brains, our minds a break. Sometimes instead of forcing our thoughts, we need to stop and take a break from this active thinking in order to have a fresh perspective and generate some new ideas. Passive thinking is accomplished in different ways for different people, but it entails changing your focus from the problem. Passive thinking may take place during a workout, a hike in nature, a good book, or your favorite TV show. One of my favorite ways to clear my mind is just close my eyes, let my mind focus on something else for just a bit. Sometimes when I'm passively thinking, it may look like I'm doing nothing. If I'm leaned back in my chair and have my feet up for a few moments, or it may look like I'm asleep, but I'm thinking and I'm working. These short brain breaks enable me to clear my mind and get back to the task at hand. But I may need to explain to others what I'm doing, as people often don't understand. If your brain's not coming up with a solution, you know it's there, but you just can't get to it, give yourself a brain break and do a little passive thinking. You'll come back fresh and ready to solve the problem. I spent a good share of my life trying to be like others and not using my gifts to the fullest. I wanted to be that guy that could just make up something and fake his way through, but that was never something I could master because it was never me. My true strength lies in connecting all the information and seeing the big picture and making sense of how the pieces fit together. For me, this is my superpower of thinking. As an introvert, you have superpowers when it comes to thinking. How does your superpower work? Rather than trying to be something you're not, remember to use your strength because it's yours and it's where you can excel. We do need to be organized with our thoughts, our ideas, and time to think. I'm a big fan of David Allen's Getting Things Done, or sometimes you'll hear it called GTD. The GTD system has been very helpful for me as a way to look at what I have to do and get things organized in the next steps. Stages in the GTD system include collect things that command our attention, process what they mean and what to do about them, organize the results, review options, and do. As an introvert, the collection phase is very important. According to Allen, if it's not being directly managed in a trusted external system of yours, then it's resident somewhere in your psyche. The fact that you haven't put an item in your in basket doesn't mean you haven't got it, but we're talking here about making sure that everything you need is collected somewhere other than your head. End quote. As we have things to do, we just need to make sure that they are written down somewhere in that place that we're going to retrieve those things that we need to do. So in GTD, you do an initial collection of everything that you need to do and then capture things as they come up. According to Allen, if you don't do this, those uncaptured items will continue to stay on the top of your mind. So for example, if I know I have a project due by Friday, I need to make a note of when I'm going to do it and the steps I need to accomplish it. And often, this is some time to think about it. If I don't, my brain will keep bringing it up so that I don't forget about those things I have to do. Having these to-do items bouncing around in my head prevents me from focusing on whatever I'm supposed to be doing at the moment. So it's great to give yourself time to think. But at some point, we do have to get things done. So be sure to give yourself a deadline. The capturing of my to-dos and my ideas has been extremely valuable to me. As an introvert, our minds is where we spend more of our time, and it's where we can use our gift of thinking. We do have so many great ideas, but we have to capture those to make room for new things to come. If you can keep your mind clear, you can focus on the task at hand and all the while continue to come up with great ideas for the future. Ideally, you'll capture to do items as you go, but I know as life gets a little busy, sometimes you have to step back and make sure that everything's recorded in a place to be sure it'll get done. David Allen also has said, your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. So if you can capture free flowing ideas, your mind can be clear to focus on your current project or to have more ideas. And there's a lot of great ways to capture ideas. I still often have just a pen and paper near me along with my phone. So as I have ideas, I might scribble them down in my notebook, or on my phone I have Evernote, or on my computer I can capture those ideas and then, retrieve them on any device that I have. I also have a lot of great ideas while I'm driving, like to and from work, especially. I've taken a break from commuting for this past year, but my commuting is going to start up real quick here. And so that again will be part of my process. And sometimes that's when I have my best ideas is driving. And a strategy I've had is if I have an idea and I'm driving, I might call myself hands free and just leave myself a message that I can check out the next time I'm doing work. But no matter what your method, it's important that you record those never-ending ideas in some form so that you can get them out of your head and concentrate on whatever ideas you need to focus on at the time. So you have a great gift of thinking. Give yourself some time to think and space to think and keep coming up with those brilliant ideas. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to further connecting with you. Check out quietandstrong.com or email me at david@quietandstrong.com. I'll add social media channels to the show notes. Please comment on social media posts related to the podcast. Send me topics or guests you'd like to see on the show. So many great things about being an introvert, and so we need those to be understood. Get to know your introverted strengths and needs and be strong.